Warning, this podcast contains material not suitable for younger audiences, and some material that's not suitable for older audiences. If you're part of any age group, we've found a way to offend you. Run while you still can. We are the hapless heroes.
So Jarrell's plan of action is to start on the eggs and then go from there to the pancakes, bacon, and then the ham.
That's a solid plan.
Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I'll be your host and DM. Start it off and introduce our cast for this evening. We have James playing Hoblet the Smasher.
Good evening, friendos.
Massimo playing Morton Mac, a.k.a. Gorgeous Mort.
Hello, everyone.
Dave playing Omega Project Prototype Zero.
Hello, hello.
And John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
A pleasure to be back.
Again, Zach is not with us tonight. He'll be back with us next session.
That damn hernia.
The
Yes,
herniated
that's it. We can-
13th ab.
Yeah, you've actually learned now that it's because that 13th ab in his 13 pack was in fact a hernia.
It wasn't
Happens to
an
the
ab
best
at all.
of us.
Not only was it a hernia,
Got him on the DL for 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, but
10
it's
days?
the treatment options that really do it.
Yeah. Surgery with a hot knife.
so he's currently receiving medical attention, and this is that type of hernia that actually requires the patient to wear a medical codpiece. It's enchanted with the Cure Mildly Embarrassing Wounds spell. It's an experimental spell.
I'm picturing Hoblets unfortunately had to wear that piece several times.
Right, because
I'm
it's
picturing like the cast that they put on when you break your pelvis.
it's like, it's all
basically
it's all in white, and it's got a red cross on it.
Nice. That sounds hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his situation right now. Love you, Zach. I don't feel so good, guys.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's better as the big diaper-looking cast or
Yeah.
as I'd originally described it in the thread, looking like it had been pillaged from a slutty nurse outfit in Halloween.
Pick your poison, really,
Well,
people.
on his frame, it probably would look like a...
So
I'd be interested if somebody drew that out, if their own interpretation.
Oh,
Don't
God,
tempt
no.
Phil, he'll draw
yeah,
it.
don't. Yeah, I was gonna say Phil will do that.
I challenge anyone to do that.
But last time when you guys were all together, you had investigated, the house that you saw the Goliath and the Kenku enter in with that had that eye on the door that disappeared or whatever, and it entered into a very nondescript house. But you noticed that the scrying orb had some weird, funky stuff going on with it when you were inside the house, where you couldn't see any of the things it was trying to scry. And then, you guys tried to make a plan. Jarrell was upset about you breaking and entering. Some dust happened. You guys ended up back at the flatulating flagoon and instigated a bar fight.
Running trend.
Yeah, got a glimpse of what would it? I think was heavily implied as the Crow King's personal guard here in town,
Yeah, they really brought out the no messing around.
wearing those those black feathery metal armor. Essentially carry out the dude who actually did commit a crime. He stole someone's coin purse, but you instigated the fight between these two mercenary groups, the Malachite Fist and the Large Greek Letters.
That's debatable.
And then we had a little bit of a long rest montage to close the episode. So now...
I think their poor attitudes and outlooks on life is what started that fight.
Their
poor decision making earlier in life.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
But now you awake on this wonderful Thursday morning. What do you do?
Quick refresher.
I am able to reset spells on a
Yes,
long
prepare
rest.
the spells and things like that you needed to.
I have locate object 2, so we can double up if we need to.
What we've ascertained from our previous experience is that if we start a ruckus, I mean, we can really find ourselves in a pinch. Like those dudes definitely seem like someone
Did
we're
Mort learn a
really not
lesson
trying.
Further
I'm not
ruckus.
saying that Mort learned a lesson per se, but maybe he'll be a little bit more
Knows
careful.
a little something. At least Jarl doesn't know.
You know, being influenced the next time out.
Further ruckus raising might result in bad outcomes.
Right. So I feel like we should go about this not kicking indoors and trying to let's bring the least amount of attention. I know that's not the MO for the group, but the least amount of attention possible.
So Jarl's going to look at the travel brochure that Paradale had stolen and see if he can ascertain where the nicest place for brunch would be.
Good idea.
Oh, now that it is drum
Thursday.
roll, Thursday.
Should I? Okay. This is as good a place as any to note it, but if there are any people listening to this show who've heard us mention this whole Thursday brunch thing before and have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, this has been a joke. I mean, okay, this is episode 62. All right, of our main story arc. I think the Thursday brunch joke started in episode 2.
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
Fucking goat milk
Mort
mimosas.
has never been a part of.
A proper
He
Thursday
missed
brunch.
out on the last one because he
I was in jail for the last one.
Yeah,
So,
it was so good.
out of all the brunches after all this time, this is your first.
This would be my first group brunch.
You never forget your first brunch.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I want to come up with a really good name for this joint. Give me one sec. Actually, no, because I liked it so much. The Slumber Hulk has the best brunch in town.
All right.
Well,
You mean at the little
Like that nicer establishment to stay at, a couple of streets up from the flatulating Flagoon.
right? Well, you know how all the hotels, like, there's always like the restaurant in the hotel. You know,
Yes.
it's like whatever. So
Yeah.
you're talking about Gertrude's Greasy Grill.
I feel like.
Oh yeah, it's the grill that's inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Gertrude's
that's what you're
Greasy
talking
Grill.
about, yeah.
I love a good alliteration. You can have that one.
It's in the pamphlet.
My
Gotta stroke it,
14.
baby.
My 14 on history.
Yeah. Look at all this lore
yeah.
that you're learning
yeah.
about this
Gertrude's
place.
Greasy Grill and Slumber Hulk Lodge.
Yeah.
Quality.
that's amazing.
quality
Like in the Slumber Hulk or something. I don't know.
She makes a mean brunch, Gert.
You go. Yeah. When you guys get there,
Her best friends call her Trudy, but don't call her that till you've earned it. She'll fucking cut you. She's a no nonsense woman.
so you guys get in there. This place is packed. It's standing room only in here. There's a person like a host standing in the front. Human guy, middle aged, wearing just like some like appropriate clothes. And he greets you. He says, good day to you. Welcome to Gertrude's Greasy Grill. It's going to be about a 30-minute wait, fellas."
Jarl steps up. Excuse me, sir. We have a party of 7. Could you please get us the quickest table you can? And he's going to hand him like 10 gold.
Ooh. Right away, my good man. I will do my best.
Thank you, sir.
After 15 minutes, he manages to clear off a spot. He actually manages to convince 2 tables that are like sort of like
Don't know each
halfway
other.
done.
they're like these long picnic benches, you know what I'm saying? So like he convinces like one group that's sitting on one side and one group that's sitting on the complete opposite side to just like scooch themselves over because they're kind of scattered about, and makes room for you guys at the like left side of this table.
Jarl immediately sits himself at the head of the table, surrounded on either side by his retainers.
Sounds good.
Who am I sitting next to? Who is on what side?
I don't know. Who are you sitting next to?
Let's say that Franz
get a good
is trying
picture
to
of
make
this.
sure that he's not sitting next to Hoblet.
Okay.
Was
So
he
he, like,
sit
kinda
across from Hoblet?
He's gonna drag.
Wait a minute. So we're talking about a long table. I'll tell you exactly where Hoblet's sitting next to this guy. So you're at that one head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then Hans and Franz are on either side. And Franz is still trying, apparently, to pull manservant to sit next to him.
So he doesn't have to look at
So he
you.
doesn't have to sit next to Hoblet. But manservant being manservant is like barely moving forward.
Okay, so manservant can sit next to Franz. And Hoblet is going to take a seat next to Hans, right across the table from Franz.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll sit right next to the manservant. Me and him are buds now.
Have you had any interaction with manservant?
Not much at
And then
all.
maybe
Or
Zero.
just
Yeah, Zero
immediately
isn't picky.
assume-
He'll take the last spot.
I am picking
Right.
this as a
Corner.
moment in time to try to wiggle my way into your to your crew here.
Slide into their DMs.
Yeah, kind of, you know, wiggling my way for friendship here.
Sure. So, you guys probably when you put your orders in. This is going to be the negligible part, but like I'm going to kind of take this as like, okay, this is your time to plan.
Zero,
Is anyone doing anything ridiculous before we get to planning?
Don't give
Zero
him the
does
opportunity.
order as much grease out of the grease trap as they can get him.
It takes a moment for the waiter to process your request because he's kind of appalled that this would even be something that someone would enjoy. But I mean, you looking nonplussed at him, he eventually is just like, okay, and you see him write it down and scurry off to the kitchen.
So,
Hey.
go ahead.
So it's planning time, I guess, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I
What
was
were we gonna
thinking
do?
about taking advantage of the fact that I created a restaurant. Okay.
So quickly.
Please.
I'm
does
not
the
trying to
James
do
break
anything.
the- break
Before
the
everybody
brand.
gets all Hoblet's about to fucking Hoblet, I have a genuine idea since we've gotten our sleep on.
We'll trust
James
you.
is DMing the next story arc.
Hoblet, because he's been through town once or twice,
Sure, yeah.
is Gertrude in?
Oh, sure, yeah. Let me roll a little percentile here. Of course she is. She owns the joint.
Sure. I'm wondering. So maybe of course she is. I'm assuming maybe we see her milling about.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Okay.
one of those half walls with a little hood, and kind of like, except there's no vents necessarily. It's just sort of like a, like in fact, you know what? There's like a very minor spell. I think it's maybe prestidigitation or something like that. That's heating some metal bars as
It's
there's
an-
sort of like a
Open kitchen concept.
window. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen. The owner, I've met her a few times. Gert, she's a good lady. Perhaps I could attempt, or someone could attempt to describe the chandelier we saw. See if maybe she recognizes it from a local establishment or something. I don't really know where we'd go from here, so I thought I might try to take advantage, if I could.
While
of a
we're
local
sitting at the
connection.
table, Zero opens up one of the pouches on him and pulls out the
The orb?
orb. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see what it's seeing.
Walking through the streets
Never mind.
of this city.
And just quickly flash it to the group and put it back in the pouch.
Does Gert recognize Hoblet?
Does Gert recognize Hoblet? Yes. You see her shoot a very quick wave to you, though, because she is busy. Busy.
Hoblet tips his cap.
You have a
And-
cap now.
It's non-existent.
He tips his hairline.
Tips his hairline. Yeah. Okay. As you guys are waiting for your food, someone notices Zero pull out this orb from his bag. Someone like from down the table a little ways. And in an effort, I guess maybe he's just striking up conversation because you guys are all in such close quarters. Looks at Zero and goes, "Hi, big man. Where'd you get that? What is it?"
I'm going to shout at him in an intimidation and say, "Mind your own business.
Okay, give me an intimidation roll.
We're eating here." That is a 19. Wait.
Plus 7? Yeah, it's 19.
Yes. Good man.
Wow.
That math was 12 plus 7.
Which I got on the first try. I just wanted to check myself with the old
Yeah,
finger
but not
check,
everybody can see you count it out on your fingers.
which is exactly why I chose to count it out of my finger.
One of these days, I'm going to broadcast one of these recording sessions. Holds and everything.
Yes.
Regardless, I was right. That's all that matters. And this man is probably also intimidating.
Oh yeah, very much so. He's like, geez, okay. And just kind of goes back and mind his own business.
Anyway, Hoblet nods at Mort, shoots in the old. Well done.
Yeah. Your food comes out rather quickly given the amount of people waiting in here. Yours seems to be made with a little extra love. In fact, your goat milk mimosa is in one of the taller glasses.
Did she do like the fancy top? You know how they do like on the cappuccinos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Steamed goat milk mimosa. Oh my god.
Oh, you haven't lived.
I'm also feeling really still
I am a
confident.
Mountaindorf.
Yeah.
Still feeling very confident about my drinking feat from a few nights before, and I am just guzzling down goat milk mimosas. I am just.
It was the night before.
It was the night before. I'm just.
Now we have to
wait a
count
minute.
to see how many
Guzzling
days you
down.
made it.
I know. Well, I'm definitely no longer impervious to intoxication.
Are you sure? Because you had it yesterday.
It's only been 12 days. You still have 2 more days left on
Hold
this.
on a minute.
Oh,
Hold on a
nice.
minute. He may be impervious to intoxication, but is he pervious to the copious amounts of goat milk that he'll also be?
No,
Because
it's,
more
goat milk
lactose
mimosas
intolerant.
are no joke.
it's
in
not
doing
just the
goat milk
alcohol.
either.
It's all of that fermenting in your gut
Right.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Hurting.
So does the goat milk have any effect other than the booze?
Yeah, actually, this would probably be, I would say, one of your first times having a goat milk mimosa,
Right,
because
yeah.
this is not something
I've
that...
never. Yeah.
Would
so
the
you
elvish
already
ethnic
decided to
group
be
be
here.
more or less impervious to lactose intolerance?
I'd say probably more impervious. I don't think they necessarily drink a lot of milk. It's mostly...
So
I've been drinking milk for
so they're
300
more
years.
susceptible to.
I would say so. I'm not
Yeah.
going to make you roll a disadvantage, but make me a constitution save.
Don't fuck it up. You fucked it up.
You, after a few sips, you start to retch.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh God! Oh God!
Like he ordered 5 and this is the first one.
Like, you know that
But I'm still
You ordered
powering
5.
through it every sip.
you dry heave maybe twice,
Okay.
and you think that if you drink any more than that, it's going to be a bad time. You feel a lot of bubbling but like big bubbles in your stomach.
All right, I'm just gonna, give manservant a little tap on the shoulder with my elbow and just be like, "Hey, you want to help me finish these off?"
Since Hoblet is across the table from him and clearly sees him tapping manservant and struggling with these mimosas, Hoblet's gonna double fist 2 of them right out of his face.
How many have you had so far?
How long have we been sitting here?
20 minutes.
20
tops.
minutes, yeah.
I'm assuming it took us maybe 5 to 10 to get this. Those would maybe be numbers 2 and 3. I might have had one while we were sitting here, and those would be numbers 2 and 3. Nothing crazy. We got a day ahead of us.
Yeah,
but
you're feeling a
I'm
little
just trying to
buzzed,
show
but-
him. Yeah.
Hoblet is a pretty like hearty dwarf.
Okay.
What does that look? You just rolled something.
I was gonna roll a Constitution, but you didn't ask me to, so. Oh, I moved it. Oh, I forget what it was.
You got to pass.
Yeah.
Don't forget you have adult onset inspiration.
Huh? I
From our
do.
last episode. So, what's you guys are eating, drinking, whatever? What's your plan of action?
I mean, we're not private enough. We're clearly still going after.
So Jarrell's plan of action is to start on the eggs and then go from there to the pancakes, bacon, and then the ham.
That's a solid plan. Lord Jarrell the Light, breakfast tactician.
We might as well just be a brunch podcast at this point.
Sounds pretty good.
Send us your takes on your favorite brunch. Anyways,
Jarrell is also shocked as Hoblet orders eggs Benedict and eggs over easy and eats them with a fork and a knife.
whatever food Hoblet's ordered, he's literally just been shoveling into his mouth by putting the plate up to his face and just pushing it in.
Zero does in fact guzzle the grease that is.
Yeah, in
brought.
fact, actually, I wanted to address that. So when they bring it out to you, it's still really hot.
Okay.
And everyone, like, you turn a few heads as, like, this dude is, like, wheeling out like just like a pan full of like a gigantic like tub full of
Like
grease.
the little tubs on wheels.
Yeah, over to your table and then just parks it next to you.
Fabulous.
And he says, "Enjoy your grease." Gertie says it's on the house.
You tell Gert we'll always stop by when we come through.
He's like, "Oh wait, hold on a second," and then he runs back to the kitchen and he comes out with a comically large straw. Made of
Zero
metal.
lights up.
Made
Like
of metal.
literally, it's a couple of lumens coming out of his eyes right
Yeah.
now.
And drops it in there.
Yep.
There's like
starts-
a clang, you know, from the barrel that this is in, pretty much, as it goes in.
Zero proceeds to drink the grease through the tube.
Jarl is holding a piece of
Grossest and
bacon
most
in his mouth, half chewed, and looking at Zero doing this.
Zero maintains steady, unblinking eye contact.
Wait a minute. Is there a slurping noise? Are we getting like a...
I don't know,
see
do
your
robots,
grease shake.
do Warforged slurp?
And I
Or is it more of a
drink it all
vacuum?
up.
There's only one really good way to find out. It is a smooth, like,
Like a mechanical vacuum cleaner?
yeah, a mechanical vacuum pressure.
Dull roar of a dryer humming while you're falling asleep.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna make a sound effect for this right now.
Or one of the little fans that you use to power up an air mattress.
Wait.
There you go.
Perfect.
Why does Jarell even hang out with us?
Just using the props at our disposal. Anyways. So yeah. Are you making a plan of action? Or are we just gonna RP through this brunch and then you make a plan?
Well, if we're still going after the orb, we probably shouldn't pull it out with
Well,
the
nosy
gem, yeah.
Nelly
Well,
down
I
at the
also
end of the
do
fucking
figure
table.
I do figure that we bought ourselves a little bit of privacy when I yelled at this dude. So maybe we can talk a little bit more freely at the table about our plan.
Mort thinks that.
I do think that. I'm also saying that out loud.
Jarl's focused on destroying this breakfast.
Okay.
So if you have a plan,
One
and you think you can get one over on Jarl while he's busy eating, now might be the time.
Well, obviously the orb is on the move. Mm-hmm. And
Gem, the orb is on us.
yes,
The gem's on the
gem is
move, the orb is in your possession.
The orb is in our possession.
We have two
When-
people with locate objects.
Did we?
Correct.
Like when he, when Zero whipped it out? Were we able to tell like, oh, cool, it's still in last wall, or like, is it just like a general?
It still looks like the landscape of like Last Wall, like the same
so it's
general
still
like building facades
Yeah.
and
in
like, you know,
town.
rocky regions.
It's almost impossible to not see mountains, no matter which direction you
correct.
So can somebody
Hills,
just
like, you know, like roads like winding up hills to get up to climb some of these like larger, you know, like peaks and houses just built into the side of them. Yeah, like you can see all that shit.
So can somebody just try to, while we are consuming our morning meal, just try to see if they can just locate this sucker, and then we can just pop
should-
up when we're done, leave the check
should
and the
go
tip,
out-
and just roll out.
We should go out into the street because it only lasts 10 minutes. We can only do it a certain number of times. It's all within 1,000 feet.
Okay, so
Okay.
finish our breakfast.
So
then, then
we're
do that.
yes,
Yep.
we're planning to use those though.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I have a observational question.
Sure.
In walking around,
So you leaving the bar?
no, just
okay.
in our travels here in Last Wall, have we seen a lot of Kenkus?
Not many.
5 or 100?
Like 4.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first
Have
we've
we
heard of.
seen a lot of Goliaths?
Couple.
A fair few.
More than
More,
Kenkus?
way more common than Kenkus.
Okay.
Can you like summon Kenkus? Like,
No, I have a locate creature.
I see. So kind of.
It might help. If
might
we
be
ever
very
lose
Well,
track
if you're
of that.
locating object and I'm locating creature, if there's
You can
only 4 of them,
triangulate.
Yeah.
yeah. Or my guess is that they know each other, so if we can't find the object, we'll shake down whichever Kenku we can find to the one of the other 3 in town.
What's the
Like,
distance?
you're
on-
assuming that all Kenkus know each other.
That's what I was gonna say.
I am. I'm assuming
That's the Canadian problem.
Hoblet is making the bold assumption that in a town like this, that the
City.
4
City.
city. So what? Millions?
About, why don't we say 500,000?
Okay. In a city of 500,000, that the 4 of the same kind know each other.
Or they could have never even
I don't
seen
mean
each
that
other
to be
or know
a
each other.
sweeping generalization about
Of
anything
Cancun.
other than out of 500,000, if there's only 4,
Kenkus?
they probably know each other.
But that's just the ones that we've seen. That's
But I
not
mean,
necessarily
like,
the number in the
that's
town.
just your opinion, man.
It's just,
We've seen them all over
We'll
Teldoria.
put it to the test here in a minute.
if we've offended any Kenkus out there, we
Right.
also apologize.
Write me a letter, address it to nobody cares.
Wow.
Okay, so Jarrell finishes his grand breakfast and not only pays for everyone's meal, but doubles the tip.
Look at you.
How
So-
much does that end up being?
12 gold.
A fine
So-
way to earn your place in Gert's heart.
Yeah, I'm just gonna clap for Jarrell.
What are you clapping for? This is how I normally operate.
You get one section of this table to also start clapping, but they have no idea why.
Nice.
It's definitely Franz and Manser.
No, strangers.
Oh, stranger.
They heard applause, they joined in.
I'm assuming that I might have a piece of parchment or there's like a piece of paper around.
I don't know if Hoblet ever carries paper with him since he seems to burn all of it.
Hand you my napkin that was
that's
on my.
I was gonna
resting
leave
on my
Gert a
lap.
note, but we can move on.
She's got a
fine.
table napkin.
Yeah,
Someone's probably got
I'll give you- I'll
charcoal.
give it right to you.
That's okay. We can move on.
She blows you a kiss from the kitchen.
Okay.
Anna, are we
Did you catch
leaving?
it?
It might be the first
Yeah,
time
right.
that any
Okay.
of them have seen Hoblet blush.
On our way out, I do lean to the little man who asked me the question and tell him it's a proto-encabulation spectrometer. Have a great day. And walk out.
No compliments for the chef for the grease.
Well, I did clean the grease trap, so
Right.
usually that's a
Yeah.
compliment
Filter
in
it?
and of itself.
You just get a very strange look, and he wheels the empty grease tray back into the kitchen.
Well, I was telling the person who had asked about the orb.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And he just kind of, but yeah, oh, sorry. This
Yeah.
this dude just gives you a weird fucking look.
Yeah. He asked. I told him. Now we're gone.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys,
Yeah, we're heading out to locate objects.
Yeah, Jarrell makes his way into the nearest crowded area.
are these rituals that you're casting, or are they just straight up spells?
Did you
Minor
pre-ritualize
actions.
during breakfast?
Okay.
It
Right.
would
Well,
have been a good
they'd all
idea.
be an action technically, but like, do they have like the ritual tag, just like
I
that?
don't
are?
believe this one does. for
Okay.
me.
No, mine neither.
Just checking. So you are not double teaming on ritualization here.
No.
Well,
Nor is there a need for pre-ritualization.
No, not at all.
As Massimo suggested.
Yeah, no pre-ritualization is required.
Jarrell doesn't do that in public anyway.
Oh God.
Well, no polite people do that in public, but since no polite people are here, it's a push, really.
You
Except
gotta
for Jarrell.
pre-ritualize, you got to pre-ritualize.
Right.
That's all there is to
Anyways.
it.
okay, bitchin'.
What?
Bitchin'. Why, on the sheet, it's like really abbreviated.
Right. Yeah. It's a brief
So,
description.
I'm going to, if we're is this what we're doing?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this was your plan.
Yep. So, he's going to cast locate object.
Right. Because you've seen the sword or the gem before
Right.
at this point. Yeah.
So, he's going to locate the gem. I am going to cast locate creature
What's the range on that?
1,000 feet.
Should we be doing both at the same time, or should we save one for later in case we have a harder time finding it than we think we're going to?
If we get into, say, your,
Actually, no. You know what? He cast locate object. Let's period.
because if he locates the object, then
Right.
once he locates
What's
the
the
object
point?
and we
Then you
know
can
where it's
verify
at, then you
it
can
with that.
verify, or
Yep.
we can try to see if
Yep.
there's
I also
the
have
Kinkajou or
detect
whoever
magic,
here.
but we know what it looks like, so we'll be able to find it
Okay.
pretty quick.
The Kikaju, did
Yeah,
you say?
I always have I have trouble with
Kenku.
that one. The Kenku.
Good
Okay.
thing.
So you say you're casting it at the same time or no?
No.
Okay.
Negative.
Which one is going off first?
Mine.
Locate object.
Yep.
1,000 feet.
Yep.
10-minute duration.
Yep.
Cool.
So we're which way are we going? Left or right? Which way's got more people in it? you tell us.
You know the cardinal direction, correct? What does it tell you? Does it tell you what direction it's in for locate object? I think it does, right? You know the
Direction to closest named or described kind of specific object.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, you have to name, you have to either name the object or know the object, right? But
Oh wait, so yeah, if it's within 1,000 feet, you know the location. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement. So it doesn't necessarily say that it has to be within 1,000 feet for you to know which direction it's moving.
no, I understand. So it is within 1,000 feet. It is
Okay.
to your north by northeast, and it is moving west.
Then that's where we're going.
So we need to move north.
Correct. That is
Or
towards
we
the
need
wall.
to move straight because it's moving west.
Yeah, if it's north by northeast of us and heading west, if we go north, we'll
Just
intersect
north.
it.
Yep.
Well, I suggest we start some sort of military line where we just start jogging and chanting some sort of.
Is there a place to procure some horses?
You already have horses.
Yeah, we
Then
have.
let's ride out.
How
1,000
far-
feet
right
away.
through the
1,000
streets?
feet.
It's like if we grab.
Like, if we
horses
go
for
back
that,
to get
like,
the horses,
yeah, you're right.
just
So is
to
it-
ride up to them. Intimidation, right?
Right?
This
It's all
time we're
about,
trying
it's all about
harder.
swagger.
Is this what you are doing?
No.
I do not. I don't think we need horses.
Jarl's gonna
What,
start
are we
walking.
going to intimidate the horses that probably aren't here?
Right.
Good.
Jarl's gonna start walking. I imagine that Mort is trying to start like a marching, singing group.
Yeah, like I'm like trotting. Like I'm trying to.
Is
Only Franz joins you in the marching, singing.
Who's doing the singing? Hopefully Franz.
Well, Franz is definitely doing the singing.
Well,
I don't know what Mort's
It's like a
trying to
call
sing.
and response
Oh, okay.
type of thing.
Oh, no.
Like an I don't know what I've been told.
No, no, no.
Oh, God.
It's just happening.
It's just the two of you doing it, though.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
fine.
say that, and Franz says, Jarl's the strongest and the most bold.
And actually, somewhere from like one of the alleys or whatever, you hear a familiar voice that you recognize from the bar the other night. You hear him go, "Oi, lad! I told you to shut the fuck up!"
You can see Franz whimper slightly.
And then him whimpering.
Does he continue playing?
Like,
Yeah, well, he's playing a lot quieter, and he isn't sure if he's gonna sing the next line.
are we talking like the single tear streaming down his face, like that
know
one
what?
old commercial
Wait,
with the
so
Indian
wait,
and all the
we're
litter
walking
and shit?
down-
Yeah.
We're walking down, and I can hear the guy what? down
Just
an
someone
alley.
shouted from a window from an alley somewhere.
He's still playing. Mm-hmm. Hoblet's gonna come in real loud with the next refrain.
Yes.
Oh, so what does Mort say then? After I don't know what I've been told or whatever. What's the second line do you want to use?
Well, let's let Hoblet give the second line. Is his
Because
thing.
Mort has to send the first line, and then he has the.
Well, I'm
follow.
just hitting it with
Right?
the I don't know what I've been told. I've settled into my role.
You just keep
You-
repeating. I don't know what I
So that's what you said. So you said, I don't know what I've been told. You said Mort something about Jarrell
Lord
or something.
Jarrell's the most bold.
Okay, so then you're hitting back with a, I don't know what I've been told. We sing loud, so shut the fuck up.
Oi, lad, you want to fight?
Do an intimidation with the shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, give me an
Great
intimidation.
idea. Also, if he's shouting this through the streets, does this intimidation roll work for anybody else in the streets?
No, it's
around
directed
us?
at this
Just
person.
directed at this guy.
We sing loud, so
Focused
shut the
aggression.
fuck up.
What'd you get?
He's using
you
his
doing
intimidation.
it?
Are you really doing it?
You
Am
probably
I-
don't need to. What's your intimidation?
I don't have it. I'm not an intimidating guy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't have a good charisma modifier.
Mess with it.
Well, what do you got?
If you want to use it, use it.
10.
Do you want me to tell you the result?
Yeah.
Yeah, you beat him. He,
Okay.
rolled, he rolled a natural 3.
Lucky.
You hear a window shut very dramatically.
All right.
Hoblet's gonna pat Hans on the back. And Franz. Keep singing as long as you like, lad.
So we've
And
all
then he's just
became-
gonna keep walking. Like he's not gonna sing. Hoblet's done singing, but he's gonna keep walking.
We've all became closer because of this experience.
Franz perks
I
up
love
a
it.
little bit, but isn't sure what to do with the smell that is now on his back.
Yes. It's a dusty murk. Right. Hoblet was covered in dust, then sweat.
Right.
then sweat, then sweat.
Maybe a little blood still.
Right. So as you march and follow
Goat's milk.
But
your
whose
object
blood?
your object radar, you guys start heading sort of at this point now northwest because they seem to have crossed like your path, and you've actually gotten to a checkpoint where there are some guards wearing these crow helmets and feathered armor, checking people who are heading like west by northwest, as this is this heads towards the Black Keep, where the Crow King and
They're
his
checking people. What do you mean?
like
It's a check stop.
they're checking credentials to make sure you're authorized to get into this area. You
Are we
assuming
so
we can
authorized?
your locate object is pointing straight in there,
To pass this.
past this checkpoint.
Yeah.
Can we check the orb just to be sure that, like, I don't know, maybe there's something,
Right here?
something else? Is that a bad idea? I'm
We
I'm
know.
whispering this too.
We know what we're looking
We know what we're looking
We've
for. Like,
I've
we
seen
have
it
not,
before.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
fine.
you
It's
haven't-
not a question of like whether
You
or
haven't
not-
walked up to
And
this
no,
checkpoint
because
yet.
there's no sense in pulling it out
Yeah.
because we already have located on.
Locate,
we
right,
know
okay,
where
we're-
the thing is.
Yeah.
We don't need to see anything.
Okay.
Not yet. Eventually, it might be nice to get a glimpse of their location.
Right,
but-
especially if they're like in this keep. Like, if we're just gonna if that's where we're trying to go, and that's what we're trying to do right now, it'd be nice to know what we'd get into if we pass this check. That's all. I would
Jarrell
say.
rolled an insight of 4 and doesn't seem to really know what the point of the checkpoint is because he doesn't really know where what the keep
Okay.
is and all that stuff. He didn't also see the guards. So he doesn't know who these guards are, what they're related to because he was sleeping while you were starting that
Bar fight.
hubbub.
Yeah, that's true.
And in my haste, I never said anything about telling everybody about that.
No,
Well, I'm
No,
just
we
gonna
were
go
too
right.
busy with goat milk mimosas and bacon grease. And
I'm just gonna go ahead and fill
the
in
finer things.
yeah,
Jarrell
right.
about the doings of last night. I'm sure if was it Franz or Hans that whimpered
Franz.
out Franz
Franz.
in his bunny
Franz hasn't
slippers.
done so already. I'm
He
just
thought
gonna,
it was
like,
a nightmare.
I'm just gonna let him know. Hey,
Well, I mean, Hoblet was involved. He's not wrong.
just gonna look at Jarrell and say, "Hey, we started a little bit of a commotion last night. These crow guards might lead us to where we're going, but they definitely seem like they're not the nicest people in the world."
Of course, you have already caused an issue with the local law enforcement.
They don't know who we are. We just know what they're about.
So we can't make it past this blockade.
Let's just say we'd have similar luck getting past Mr. Black if he didn't want us to get past.
And fellas, can I just say, is there anything that we can we make up anything to try to get past this? Can we convince them that we have some sort of purpose here?
Who feels like bluffing, I guess.
We don't necessarily need to be bluffing. What do we know about this Crow King?
Not much.
What are we looking for from this crow king?
This gem.
And we are to suspect that
Being as old as I am, could Hoblet roll an insight check and maybe see if he knows anything just from being here before, if I know anything about what it takes to get past these guys?
Sure.
nice.
25.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you need some kind of official business to get through here. I mean, if you don't have a badge or some sort of credential, like you need to have like maybe an appointment or some sort of audience, or
So I'm gonna say-
or something like that, something urgent.
Fellas, two schools of thought here.
Let's say we have an audience with the Kenku. He's already in there. Take a flyer that he's legit.
Do you think he's high enough up to be calling for meetings, or is he going to a meeting?
We'll find
he was
out.
called
There's
upon.
one way to find out.
Yeah, and if he has this very special prize, he could be a higher up. Who knows?
So you're gonna start with the
So
lie.
there's a 50-50 that if he has if he has the gem, there's a 50-50 he's involved in some sort of evil necromancy. Would he really be taking appointments on the up and up?
Probably not.
There's no guarantee that he's involved in the evil necromancy, though. He said he found it on the other side of the wall in...
Well, wait a minute.
But now he's also in the Crow King lair, which doesn't seem to be like, you know...
I mean, where
the
else
most
would a
wholesome
Kenku
thing
go?
to
Of
do.
course he's going to
We also could use a technique that Hoblet has used almost every time he's gotten thrown out of a bar from getting into a fight. Is that they're checking credentials to get into what Hoblet is picturing as like a...
So, like, I mean, it's
Is it
kind
a
of...
building? Is it an area?
So it appears to be like a much less traveled, like, cobbled avenue that sort of goes west and then starts curving west by northwest and starts going up a winding road on the side of like a large rock face. And further up, the keep is actually built into the mountain. It juts out a bit. It's like this sort of black castle, you know, in this sort of like very dark, like sort of almost like bedrock kind of stuff here. And you know, there's like some smaller buildings and like along the path that kind of stretches up, but it looks like mostly like logistical buildings. Maybe a smith that has a forge, you know, some stables. Like it's sort of like the...
Okay. So
So this is more of an official area heading that way, because to the right of that, you know, this keep overlooks the entry on this side to the wall, like to the other side. It's looking over the gate and
Oh, okay.
wall area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he went in. He's gonna come out. We could just post up somewhere and hang out for a minute if we don't want to try to mess with these guards. Like
not the worst idea.
he doesn't know that we're coming for him.
And we're not trying to mess with the Crow King. If we have
Right.
zero, like...
So if we just wait,
Need
like
to,
he probably, if he had a business in there, he probably went in, handle his business, come back out.
How
we
would-
can wait.
How
out
would
here.
the Crow King respond to knowing that this gem
Yeah.
holds a potential necromantic power tied to the portals that were letting undead? I mean, if the Crow King,
How do you know? How do you know so much about it?
I don't. Outside of the pamphlet I was reading.
No, I mean, how do you know? How do you know so much about the gem?
Well, you guys have talked
been-
about these
yeah.
things.
Right, so that when the Crow King asks us, then he's gonna take our gem and he's gonna take all the other gems that we have.
I'm really not
But
trying
you don't
to
have
get
all
into
of them
it.
on your person.
Yeah,
too.
no.
No, but he'll. I mean, if I'm the Crow King and I get a thing that like can.
You don't know anything about the Crow King. He's
Yeah.
mysterious.
He could be a nice and respectable, you know...
You also remember that he doesn't take direct audiences. He has people who speak for him.
Right.
We can bluff and say we have an appointment and try to get in.
Gerald's considering just telling him the severity of the situation.
Good versus evil ideas here.
Well, more like just like honest versus...
Right. Yeah, it's like, you know, like the angel on your shoulder, devil on your shoulder type deal.
Well,
Obviously, I like my idea.
Has to agree upon.
Gerald, with still the limited insight and the no real inclination that these are corrupt
And we should also
officers
probably not piss them off. Let's go with
in
that.
any way, shape, or form, is going to walk up to the... Well, it's just to the line of them, right? There's a couple of them.
There's 3 of them.
Just 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of what Hoblet saw the night before, not in an attempt to split the party, but I am going to keep. I want to find like a corner that I can post up on where I can see him going up to talk to them, but I would like to keep a respectable distance if possible.
Chilling in the cut.
In case something goes bad.
He's
Right.
letting me do the talking, thankfully.
Sure. Yeah.
It's actually, yeah, it's pretty
Yep.
good.
So Jarrell's going to walk up and he's going to say, "Afternoon, sirs. I am Lord Jarrell the Light, heir to House Passer. I am on my travels attempting to solve some of the undead issues we have currently plaguing us. How would I go about a meeting with maybe not the Crow King, but someone in his entourage, perhaps?" And I'm going to try persuasion on this one. And it is just a 15.
You have to make an appointment.
How can I make an appointment?
Give me your name, and how long you will be staying here, and where you will be staying. I will have to present this information to the speaker and find out when he has an opening. They are very busy. The attacks have been rough lately. What is the nature of your information? We all have undead problems here.
Our situation is quite dire. I have been sent as a member of the Heroes of the Kingdom of Esh. We have been traveling the countryside and have already defeated several parts of what could be a more dramatic issue.
And what do you mean by a more dramatic issue?
I feel best parting that information on to higher authorities.
Give me a persuasion on that one.
That's a little slight.
Oh, that's 24.
You make a good argument. I see that the information you have must be very valuable to you. I will send one of my men to accompany you to the speaker. Be warned. Any funny business, and the murder shall descend upon you.
The murder?
They're all
Capital T, capital M.
I get it.
14 for insight. What the hell does that mean? Are they gonna just murder me? Is that what they're meaning?
That's
Incubus playing in the background?
that is the special that is like the special detachment of this, modest but powerful Kingsguard.
Okay. Oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah, get it?
I get it, yeah.
Pretty good. And that was on the quick too. I like that.
Some honest double entendre action.
Yeah,
there.
Right.
good time.
Awesome. So Jarl is really tempted to go by himself with his retainers. And now is he ushering me away?
Yeah, I mean you're the only one who walked up there. So
Unless you mention that we're with you.
he didn't say that. He said that we, but like
I'm
My
not far behind
retainers,
you.
my retainers are moving with me, and I'm trying to decide.
I mean, I'm across the
Given-
street, I guess.
Given that my insight let me know what the murder means.
Yeah. I mean, you want
Well,
some
did
backup?
Zero
I'm not
go with
far
him?
away from you. I don't think me or Zero are very far from
right, I guess so.
you. Like, kind of close.
only
I mean, we
Hobbits
all
only
were in
Hobbits
a
stuck
group.
back.
He
So
told-
Yeah.
are you saying that they're with you? These two?
Do they ask?
Yes.
They
You would want Zero to come with you since Zero has one of the orbs. Or do you want Zero to not go with you because Zero has one of the orbs?
Begrudgingly, he's not gonna lie. And he knows that he's not going to be able to take this murder by himself.
While Hoblet sees them all talking now, he walks over.
And it's not this murder, it's the murder.
Right.
The murder.
Right.
Anyways.
So he begrudgingly says, yes, they are with me.
Okay, and now they meant Zero and Mort. Hoblet's across the street.
Nope, Hoblet just walked up.
Oh, Hoblet walked up. And the dwarf?
Yes, and him.
That's how they know we're a real adventuring party.
right.
Because there's always that one you're reluctant to have to admit is part of your adventuring party.
You'll save your ass, though.
I let
You will.
the three guards
But we can't
walk
take
in
you anywhere nice.
in front of me
God,
a
no.
ways, so they don't see
It's
me.
just one guard walking with you. The other two stay behind.
Okay, so as soon as we get about 20 feet away from the other two guards, are their backs turned to me? And the party as we're making our way up? Are they looking at us?
I mean, they maybe watch you walk away for a moment, but then they turn their attention back to the street.
When I kind of like out of my periphery notice them turn around, I immediately turn to Hoblet and go and just point very aggressively at his face, but don't say or make any noise.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I
You
can
do
even
that.
roll a stealth.
No,
for
I
it.
don't care.
Nope.
I mean, that's just like the angry dad at like a restaurant
Right.
type point.
You
know.
better
You judge
behave.
me for not saying anything.
Yeah, like you're implying that without saying anything.
Right.
Right. Yes, completely understand.
It's in all of our best interest to get out of here alive.
Yeah, so I mean, it takes you some time to kind of walk through. You notice instead of going up the curvy roads, like this guard is just climbing steps, like very steep steps that go up like the sides of these cliffs that kind of wind up to where this castle is built into the mountain. He says, "Let me know if the journey is too grueling for you." And, you're pretty much Stairmaster for the next 20 minutes.
I
Jarrell,
stretched this morning,
uh,
bro.
I mean, I'm a fucking mountain dwarf, so.
Yeah.
Right.
ain't no
I'm just
thing
letting,
but a
I'm just
chicken
letting you
wing
know.
on a string,
Yeah.
dang-a-lang.
Your leg's going to be a little raw at the end of this.
Jarrell barely flinches.
Right.
I'm slightly chafing.
Mort might be the one who's panting here out of anybody.
I don't know. I can acrobatics this shit if you want me to.
That's true.
Zero smells faintly of frying bacon. It seems the grease has heated.
Are we still in the 10 minutes?
4.
His
Probably in the
spell.
last
Oh
minute.
yeah, good point.
Because all we've
I was
really
gonna
done
say
is
you're
talk
pretty.
to them.
You're pretty much towards the end of it. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Well, so
been
towards the end of
entire
it-
time you've been talking though. It's been pointing towards the keep.
So they're still probably ahead of us.
Yeah.
And as we're making
Is it
our way,
stationary or still moving?
Before the spell runs out, it was at least at the moment stationary, up towards the keep.
Okay.
as we're making our way toward the last few steps, Franz is significantly behind Mort, wheezing because he has slight asthma.
Oh, I'm gonna try to, and also still an attempt to help out. Just gonna like, hoist him up underneath like his
Oh,
armpits
that's nice,
and
Mark.
like, you know what I mean, like, and like help him up these stairs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys make it to the keep, and it's like this very large, sort of like portcullis, like that's extends way like maybe 100 feet up. You know what I'm saying? Or I'd say 50 feet up. And you guys, are approaching it. The gate is up. There's free passage kind of going in and out of here. You can see that there's like some like kind of coming out from the mountain, also some like watchtowers. You know what I mean? That are overlooking. There's plenty of people like dressed in the same similar like garb, just like looking out from up top. You can even see that there's some telescopes or it's like what is it? The telescopes pretty much.
Yeah, why not?
Like mounted to like the tops of these watchtowers, and you can see that there's somebody who's actually scanning out towards the Crucible lands, like over the wall.
Okay.
And as you enter, it's like this very, very large sort of entryway with the stairs that kind of go up, many chambers going out to the left and right. You're led up to like a second level up these very large set of stairs, and you're kind of ushered through a couple larger halls, smaller halls. They seem to be there's people kind of moving around in their daily businesses here. It seems like this is where not only maybe where the guards post themselves out of, but also maybe the local bureaucracy, like the government.
It's basically City Hall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then you're led up to a third level to a hallway that has a few doorways here, like iron doors. It's like all carved out of stone, and there's a couple benches, and this guard motions for you to take a seat. Says, "I will go talk to the speaker."
Now, does he leave us alone in this hallway? Are there any other guards
Perception
in
check.
the hallway? Okay. Uh-oh. That is a 10.
I mean, you can hear boots clinking somewhere.
Okay. So we
15.
can have we can
15?
have a slightly private conversation from where we're at.
Yeah, you can have a private conversation from here, but this would probably be an area that would be regularly patrolled or, checked in on, and it's close quarters.
Is this a good time to see if we're in the right spot? Can you check your
like your voices would carry in here, so you would want to
just gesture and keep it down?
more quiet.
But yeah, it looks like nobody can. Our escort is still ahead of us and not looking at us.
That is correct.
No
He
one else
goes a
see-
few doors down and walks into a doorway on the right.
Okay, we're just waiting outside of it.
You're waiting kind of a little further down the hall on some benches.
Okay. Yeah, just pull it out and glance at it real quick. Still keeping it kind of shielded, partially under the lab.
Yeah, it appears to be in a mid-sized chamber, maybe 30 by 30. Some tables, chairs, some maps laid out, and it appears that it's the person wielding this is sitting on someone's shoulders who is sat at a table where there are a few other people conversing.
So he's on the Goliath.
The plot thickens.
Either that or is he croaking, chilling?
You see that a lot of the people who are sat at this table They're not wearing armor, but they are wearing masks. Like almost like masquerade ball kind of masks, except shaped like a crow, and like instead of a curved, just like tiny nose, it's like a beak, like a pointed beak. And their eyes they're like their faces are covered, but you can see their eyes.
Are they chanting the greater good?
The greater good.
The greater good.
No, they are not, and you can't hear them anyways. But they just appear to be like conversing normally.
Okay.
You can see like the clawed hand occasionally kind of point out from the side, because this is on his hip, at some of the areas on the map. But that's all you can see is like that clawed feathery hand.
Okay.
Like pointing, and there's a conversation happening here somewhere.
All right. I mean, I really don't. I think at this point we're following Jarrell's lead
Yeah.
to try to be good
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, what can we like? Just real quick, I'm gonna answer the group. Like, what can we take away from that? Honestly.
Jarrell whispers, "It seems as if the gem is watching this particular area for a very particular reason. If he is part of the strategic command, it could be very dangerous to have an eye in that room."
Oh, dang it! Not.
It's a lot of noises.
I just had a phenomenal, but separating the party's never a good idea.
Or were you gonna go look for it and kick the
Well,
door?
I'm assuming. Well, I'm assuming that now, like nobody's checking credentials.
But we're all
Here.
in, and we all came together.
Right, but he could be like, "Oh no, I said the dwarf wasn't with me." Like the dwarf could just. No.
You're counting on Jarrell
I don't
to do
like
that?
that.
Sticky situation you're getting yourself.
Yeah, and
in.
you know Jarrell won't play that game.
Never mind.
The timer's running out, and he's trying to find ways to get away to let blow off some steam. Is what's
He's
happening.
getting antsy over
He
here.
needs to hit something.
Worst places to do it.
Right.
Ever.
Okay.
You're the one who walked over to us.
So fine.
Okay,
So
so
we're yeah.
you come to you decide to stay put, and after a few more minutes, you see the guard return, and he says, "The speaker will see you now. Come with me."
Jarrell gets up and immediately follows.
Hoblet chuckles because he hates bureaucracy, and when we first met this guy, he was like, "Give me your name, and I'll take it to somebody who will take it to somebody who will see if the speaker
So you're
will
like
see
doing
you."
that like fake talking.
And
voice,
Jarrell
bobble
was
thing.
like, "No, I have information," and they're like, "The speaker will see you now." But the first guy made it sound like he's so fucking busy, and they're like, "No, he's just sitting up there." Like, "Oh yeah, you want to talk to him right now?" No. Oh yeah, sure. "Oh, you've got important information." "Oh, hold on. Let me go tell him someone's got important information. You can come right the fuck in." If it was not important, we'd make you wait a couple of days to tell him.
I mean,
It's how he said
So are
it.
you basically just
Something
like,
was
no,
lost in the
mew,
inflection.
mew, 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 mew.
But
Like,
Hoblet's
you doing
been
all
around
those
enough
stuff?
to roll his eyes at bureaucracy. So we're
Sure.
walking in.
Yeah,
Hoblet's
sure.
just casually rolling his eyes, going,
Yeah.
Of course,
Zero obviously follows the group.
right.
I'm also fine.
So he kind of leads you ahead in that hallway that you were, was like waiting in, and turns you down to the right to another hallway. And at the end of this hallway, there is, a steel door.
Before we go through the steel door, I swear to God, if we wind up in the room with the Kenku and the Goliath,
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out for us.
a
poorly.
lot of persuasion.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really get our like kiss ass boots on and just start like, I mean, really smooching. Like, we're
Just
not in a
straight
good
up
spot.
licking
Yeah,
boot.
Wait a minute.
for real.
Hold on.
We're going
To a giant steel door.
Hold on. We're telling the speaker that someone came in with a necromantic orb, correct?
We're waiting-
That's
we're
what
waiting-
your
Well,
goal
Hold on.
is.
Yeah.
We're waiting
That
to
was his plan, right? Yeah.
Right.
judge
No, but I'm just saying-
situation, but yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure that that's the case.
Okay. So
Okay.
you got he's leading you towards this door, and he opens it like in front of you, and then sort of stands off to the side and ushers you in.
Who goes in first?
Jarrell walks
of
in.
course.
Yeah.
All right.
Who follows behind Jarrell?
Zero does.
And my retainers.
I will
Oh, right.
be behind Zero.
Okay, and then Hoblet taking up the rear. Okay. So you enter into a larger stone chamber. There's sort of like a few raised steps on this like, sort of like very short plinth. That's like there's like a not a throne, but like a nice stone chair with like some drapery on it, right? And there are 4 stone chairs, sort of almost like like stone and wood, like arranged, like sort of facing it in a line, like they prepared for 4 people to enter in here to face this, like whatever empty chair right now. So those, like, it's almost like those chairs were put in for you. Do you guys sit down? Do you remain standing?
Is there
No one
anyone
else in here
There's
yet.
no one in the room.
No. The door closes behind you.
Zero looks to Jarrell as the person who would know the etiquette in this situation.
Jarrell walks in front of what will be his chair and stands.
Zero follows suit.
What do you two do?
I'm just like scratching my beard, like standing, waiting.
In front of your chair, or just kind of in
In front of a
the...
chair.
and
Yeah,
the other-
yeah, I'm following
Are your
suit.
other
I'm
guys
just
gonna
confused.
sit down too?
They're gonna stand behind us. They don't get seats.
Fine. Fine. Hoblet gets in line.
And stands.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
One servant stands behind you. The other 2, so we'll say it's Hans. So my squire is behind you.
Wait, we just walked like up like a million stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hoblet's sitting down.
You just squat?
Yeah.
It-
I mean,
it-
there's chairs, right?
Yeah, but they're built for humans, so it takes a little effort for you
Okay,
to kind of
yeah.
like worm your way up to them.
yeah.
But it doesn't take too. It's not too bad.
Okay.
Jarrell waves at you. Stand up, you fool!
My legs are killing me.
You're meeting a king!
No, we're not. We're making his voice.
It's the same thing, you... have you no culture whatsoever?
Not here.
Hans giggles a little bit behind you.
After a few,
You know what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Hoblet then stands on the chair.
I like that idea.
So now
So
you're
now
almost
I'm-
at eye level
Right.
with me.
Yeah.
Right.
There is the sound of someone's voice clearing from to your left, and out from a smaller chamber door comes a very tall, lanky man, in these sort of flowing, like sleeves too long, but they're kind of like fringed and frilled with feathers at the end, and like again this crow's mask. He kind of walking with his hands folded in front of him, walks very timidly to the center and stands in front of this chair. And he says, "You may be seated."
Jarrell bows and then sits. And then he immediately starts, not necessarily waiting for Mort or Zero to do so, because at this point it's acceptable for everyone to sit.
Yeah. No, Zero sits. He doesn't bother bowing. He just
Right.
sits.
Jarrell is going to immediately say, "Thank you, noble speaker, for taking the time to meet with us."
Just so you know, Hoblet sat down last, and there was a good solid 1 Mississippi where he was just staring at Jarrell after everyone else had sat down.
Did you just like jump up and
kick?
kick your feet out?
No,
and
it was.
clap?
He's not a savage, but
Mario butt
Right.
sitting.
yes.
Do the jump and spin and then land.
Yeah, right,
Right.
exactly.
The man continues, and he says, "Well, I have been told that you have some information of utmost importance.
Indeed.
Please do tell."
My name is Lord Jarrell the Light of House Passer. These are my compatriots with whom I have been serving for these last several months. We have been on a most dangerous mission. I have been fighting the undead for several years now, but nothing has surpassed what I have seen as of late. They have found powerful gems that appear to be tied to the undead. We have information for you that you might be in possession of one of said gems.
What? How did you come to learn all this?
We have seen powerful visions through an orb.
Zero taps you on the shoulder. Allow me to break in. So, and he gives whatever date it was. We encountered a lair of a necromancer underneath the Grey Citadel.
You see
lays out
his
what he
face start to
found.
you see his face starts to sink a little bit as you continue to. I mean, like what you can see of his face.
Yeah. We defeated him. We found what appeared to be gigantic flesh golems on the other side of some portals. We shut down the portals, collapsed the ruin, reclaimed a sphere and some seeing and the first of a series of seeing stones from the necromancer there. We followed the trail of this to Tamasha here, where we found yet another one in disguise as a member of the city guard, and proceeded to destroy that lab.
I caught that. Continue.
We moved along to the western edge of Forest Heart, where we found one of these gems on a dead person. We can assume they were a necromancer. We're not entirely certain. It appears that they were killed before they fulfilled their mission. We traced the fourth of them to this city and have tracked the most recent gem to somewhere inside this citadel here.
You see him pause for a few moments, and he says, do you have this orb on your possession?
Zero produces the orb.
And you see him take a few steps forward. He's like, may I see it? Puts his hand out very,
Yeah,
very,
Zero
very
just looks
carefully.
over at the rest of the party.
And I'm just like clearing my throat, like kind of uncomfortably.
Jarrell is. Hold on, I'm gonna do an insight on Jarrell, but I don't believe anything nefarious has occurred yet. It's just a 7. Nothing.
Okay, hands him the orb.
Okay, you see him peer inside a bit. You see him almost even adjust his mask a little bit to, like, really look into it. He even turns around for a second and like lifts his mask up. And then you see him put it back down, turn around towards you. This is most concerning. I know exactly where this is. I will. Please come with me, and I will send a detachment with us. We must investigate this at once.
Shall we, gentlemen?
Jarrell is so proud of himself for telling the truth, by the way.
And Zero breaks in with the good record-keeping capability of
Right.
everyone's
Do
favorite
we get
mechanical.
to flip an orb back, though?
Before we leave.
Yeah, he hands it back to Zero.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
good.
Because
That's what I
Stash it.
care
Pablo
about.
was about to put his hands out.
Yes, that's what I
Be
care
like,
about.
so you're
Now
gonna give
I
that back,
am
right?
nodding in approval to Jarrell for obviously leading us on the righteous path here.
So, you and a small detachment of these guards and the speaker.
A gaggle of guards.
Yeah, a gaggle.
I mean, we are in the Crow King.
Make your way through a series of hallways. You kind of cut back through one of the larger halls. You're heading towards the other side of the keep now. You go up another set of stairs. This one's kind of sort of a circular, like a spiral staircase. And it leads to just a single door that's just marked with an eye, but it's not the same eye you saw before. This one does not, like the one on the door kind of possessed like lashes. There was sort of an ornate symbol to it. This one is just like a very plain eye, and you see sort of just like in written in Dwarvish, it says investigations over the door, like carved into the door. Or what would be directly translated to common more as private investigators. But dwarves, in so many words, say the same thing.
Internal affairs out here.
Kenku PI.
Okay, good. Zero can read it. All right.
Yeah, you can read Dwarvish?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because you probably were made
Common,
by some
Elven,
dwarves.
Dwarvish, Gnomish.
Beautiful.
Can you read Dwarvish?
I cannot.
Okay.
Can you read Dwarvish?
Nope.
Cool.
Do you tell them what it says?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Zero has information, he'll of course let everybody knows that he has information.
They open the door, the speaker walks in, the guards kind of shuffle in behind him, and then you follow yourselves in, and he turns to you, Zero, and he says, "The orb for a moment, please."
Pulls it back out.
Holds it up, and you see like you've almost interrupted a meeting
Yeah.
with the Goliath on his shoulder, the Kenku, and a bunch of masked crow people. The Goliath recognizes
go.
a couple of you. And you see him kind of like raise an eyebrow and smile a little bit. He's like, "Oh, hi there, little fella." And the speaker walks up to them, is kind of looking at the orb, and he talks to the Kenku. He says, Tiddlywonk, I require your sword. And you see Tiddlywonk the Kenku just kind of unclasp like the hilt of his sword and pull it out a little bit. And you hear him say, "May I ask why?" And the speaker says, it is a matter of regional security. And you see that he like perks right up, hands him the sword. And you see him kind of like moving the hilt of the sword around, looking at the orb, kind of shining it towards his face. And he motions to one of the guards to like come up to him. Without saying a word, he walks up. He pulls like a knife out of the like it's almost it looks like a diamond tip knife out of the belt of one of the guards, and you see him literally pry the gem out of the hilt of this sword. It takes some fiddling around, but he seems to be very careful with this thing. And he's holding this gem, and he says, "Where did you find this?" And the Kenku, starts, the Goliath kind of chimes in. He's like, "Well, old Tiddlywonk and I, on our last crucible run, found it in the ruins of what appeared to be an old barracks. Not entirely sure what it is. Tiddlywonk's taking a liking to it." And Tiddlywonk, you see him nodding his head. And he says, "I fear the worst may be happening." He turns to you, "Gentlemen, whether you've liked it or not, we cannot let you leave this keep at the moment."
Wait, who's the one who says that?
The speaker.
Okay.
"Until we get this matter sorted out and the Crow King alerted, we would like to keep you here for any information, that he may need. This is something that we have been following for quite some time, but have not actually seen any physical evidence of it until you've procured this orb here."
Jarrell says, "I find no issue with providing you with whatever service we could."
He says, "Please take a seat." There's a large table here.
All right.
What locations have you found these in so far?
Zero lays it out.
Right.
So, Gray Citadel, Tamasha here, Forest Heart here, and that we were still tracking another one in Tarantus.
And you said that these have been all found on necromancers and...
The first two were. The third one was found on a corpse.
He says, "I fear we may not have much time left. We will send word to Tarantus at once. This is a matter of utmost dire straits. If these people have infiltrated our midst, it is only a matter of time before this wall will not be enough to hold back what lies beyond." Have you seen, were these necromancers successful in summoning the undead? Did you see any, did any get away?
The first one had in the first location, they had opened a portal. Looking through the portal we had seen, and Zero describes the flesh golems over there and stuff.
Didn't we fight some undead with one of them?
Jarrell
Yeah.
also mentions that we fought one under the tower in Tamasha here, but nothing made it out of that.
He's okay. I will be right back. He hands you the orb back. He says, "But please just wait here." After about another 10 minutes or so, you hear some commotion coming from outside this door, from down below. And you can hear people shouting, "To the walls! To the wall!" And you see most of this detachment that's with you immediately about faces and starts running out to the door. Just shuffling of boots, it's like marching now happening within the walls of this keep. People are slamming doors. People are locking things, securing themselves.
How many horn blasts?
One.
All right. Sorry. I love doing that.
And you see that even the other two guards now, like, we need to see what's going on. Would you prefer to wait here?
We would like to join.
Okay,
Don't lock us in a room. We can help.
okay, come with us. Do not leave our sight.
Nobody leaves Hoblet in the corner.
To my retainers, I wave them to stay safe in the room.
Okay.
Zero also leans to one of them. If you have a runner, have someone bring as many crossbow bolts as possible to our position.
Okay.
It's going to be a day.
To Hans, because he's a squire. He can
Well, sure, but even, someone here in the keep who might have access to the armory.
Sure. This small detachment starts taking you up towards one of the watchtowers, and you can see even from here. It's a bit foggy still, but about a mile out from the wall, there is a gigantic line of undead that just kind of starts in a very straight line and then just goes out and on farther than you can see. And they're just standing there. Like zombies, like horrible, like abominations of like creatures of like bloated flesh and just like horridness. I mean, it's really hard to see from this far away, but like there's
fucking
lots of
gross.
shapes and sizes. Right. Some are very tall, like almost like undead giants. Some of them are just undead and like, like people, but it's really hard to see more than that. I mean, just like humanoid shaped. But they're literally just all standing in a gigantic line, just staring. And you see even some of the guards here, like, just kind of staring in awe at like what's happening. And you hear some people saying, like, what are they doing? Why are they waiting? They've been coming nonstop for days now. And you see, like, you kind of like hear the earth shaking a bit. It's almost like if there's something like some sort of creature taking like thunderous steps
Shit.
Oh god.
in the distance, but you see nothing yet. Because again, foggy, it's like I think we said it's like springtime at this point. You know what I mean? Like early spring, so it's still kind of shitty out.
Now, so we're looking out over the wall.
Yeah.
Jarrell was
hazy.
Jarrell was secretly hoping that he would get to peer over the wall the entire time, and is now kind of regretting it. But I also want to like look around to see what the war machine is on this wall. Like, what does it look like?
There are ballistas. There are gigantic barrels of like tar and oil and flammable things. There are, I mean, you're even seeing like multi-rack like ballistas where it's like 2 rows of gigantic bolts to fire out. There are there appear to be like, even a small group of like mages and things like that overlooking on some of the out, like the, what do they call those? Like from the wall, there's like some parts that come out a little farther, right? Like almost like walkways, just to kind of get a better overview, right? The wall's kind of not perfectly straight. So like there's a ton of people up on here, like bows and arrows and armaments all over the place, siege weaponry, like trebuchets, catapults. Like this is a gigantic wall.
Jarrell bends down close to Hoblet, points his sword out into the distance and says, "Are you ready, Hoblet? This could be the greatest battle we've ever seen."
Of course. Let's do this, friendo.
Zero brings out his cannon off of his back, presses a button on the side, and it expands even slightly bigger. The drum mounted on the side, it's about the size of a film like a motion picture film canister, like set up vertically on the side, starts to whine. Like a whirring noise that spins up.
Should we get the vacuum cleaner out again?
But you see one of the guards kind of put his hand up to like signal, like, just hang on a second. And you can hear like almost like someone's like shouting through like a megaphone, but it's probably just like some sort of like vaulted, like, I don't know, like thing that they're holding. Shall we fire? They're not doing anything. Fire the siege weaponry! And you see like some of the trebuchets, like, like load up with some like flaming, like balls of fire, whatever the fuck they are.
Great
like
balls of
flaming
fire.
And you see 2 or 3 of them get launched out towards this like crowd. I mean, it manages to hit the front. You see a bowl over, maybe like a row of them, or like like a column of them. Not a single one of them moves until as the like winds kind of blow the fire and stuff like that. Like they literally just stand there, burning.
Some of them.
Some of them. And a few beats later, and you see out from the haze and the fog one of those titans.
Oh,
those
God.
like fleshy titans with like this gaping hole of an abdomen standing there. And then after a few more moments, 2 more emerge from the fog.
So there's 3?
There are 3 of them.
Zero turns to the guard who had been with them the whole time. Like, or was the speaker still with us? Or
No,
was
the
it just
speaker
guard?
ran off.
Yeah, like those. Yeah, we saw those.
And I think that's where I'm going to call it on this episode here.
Oh, God.
On that little cliffhanger.
Here we go.
This is gonna be something.
Nice.
Could have learned a lot more.
We
But
should have learned a lot more.
At the same time, Jarrell kind of found the easy path towards getting some answers here. Unfortunately, that's going to get, interrupted a bit.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
So, if you like us, you can find us on the internet. We're on Twitter at Hapless Heroes. We have a Discord server. You can find that as a pinned post on our Twitter account, our subreddit /r/Hapless Hero Podcast, or on our Podbean page. We're also on Instagram at Hapless Heroes. If you really, really like us, you can leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice, like this wonderful, kind person did. The title of this one is pretty great. So this one comes from Kier, and it says, "You will crit your pants," is the title.
Yes, you will.
Best D&D podcast I have ever listened to before. Okay, hand emoji. I have been binge listening for a week. 5 stars, great banter and story. Hey, Kier.
Awesome.
That really means a lot to us.
Kier, you care, and we care about you.
I'm giving you a 2 thumbs up emoji right now.
He is. I can see it. You can't, but I can.
And if you really, really like us, we have a Patreon page where you could, if you feel like we're worth it, you can donate your hard-earned dollars to get some cool rewards from us and some unreleased audio and some other things that I'm working on that hopefully by the time this episode airs, I may have compiled like blooper reels and, just random like non-canon episodes that we recorded when we were short a bunch of people in our early days. Soon I'll have finished editing the session we did right before your daughter was born,
Yeah.
James. Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
The last Hoblet-less session.
Yeah. We did it at Massimo's house. So just, really, it's completely optional, but if you feel like we're worth it, we really appreciate it. We put it towards, feeding ourselves, new microphones, all this fun stuff. So it goes a long way. We really, really appreciate it.
And if you really, really like us, go out and buy 5 big blocks of cheese, hard cheeses, and make us cheese sculptures of your favorite Hapless Heroes characters.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
sounds
even
delicious.
try one. We'll have a little cheese cracker thing with like a hoblet. I'm sure hoblet would taste great molded out of a lump of goat
What?
cheese.
What
Why
kind of
has the
cheese would
cheese
you
would
turned
be goat
brown?
cheese?
Why has the cheese turned brown?
Because I didn't wash my
Gross.
hands.
Oh, and that being said, let's go ahead and outro our cast for tonight. One more time to my left, we've had James playing Hoblet the Smasher.
I'm still kind of dirty.
Massimo playing Morton Mac, aka Gorgeous Mort.
We're in a sticky situation here.
That's what I call a sticky situation.
Dave playing Omega Project Prototype Zero.
On top of the wall, facing down the endless hordes of the undead, is literally what Zero was born for.
And John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
I have been waiting for this.
And I've been Francesco, your host and DM, and we'll see you next week when we come to, I don't know, when some really crazy shit happens.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Possibly the conclusion of every one.
2 words. Swan dive.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Just go.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.